All right, here we fucking go. Welcome back to CollaboRadio. This is episode number 5. We are so glad to be back with you all again. It's been such a long time. This time we've got Pat, known as P.SUS.
Yo.
We've got Steve, known as ThinkFishTank.
Yo.
We've got Ethan, known as EMP. And we've also got Dom, known as Riverman.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. It's good to hear all of you again. But yeah, so Pat has released some new music. Can you tell us a little bit more about the new EP?
Yeah, it came out just a couple days ago, and the reception has been really good so far. People seem to really like it.
I really like it.
Yeah, Dom said he liked it. He was there. I did a live stream, kind of like a release party, I guess. It was kind of spur of the moment.
Nice.
But Dom happened to be there, which was awesome. Thanks.
No problem. It was a really good show. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and I played like a live version of the EP, and since it was the day that it came out, like the live version was the version that a lot of people were hearing like for the first time, as opposed to like downloading it and listening to it. So
Word.
People seem to really like it, and it's 6 tracks, and each track is kind of its own thing. It's like kind of stands out, but I think that they go together well too. And it's called Gallery, kind of for that reason, because it sort of was a gallery of tracks like that contrasted each other, sort of, in my opinion, at least.
Word.
And it's kind of just like a short EP to like between albums, and but I think like I'm really proud of it, so feels really good to get it out there.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Now I can move on.
I can't wait to get my ears on it myself. Sorry that I missed the stream. I'm sure that was such a blast. I've just
I remember you mentioned in the stream that people who were listening to it for the first time in the stream might be disappointed because the stream version might be better. But I listened to the actual EP like the following day, and it was still really, really great. So
okay,
yeah.
Good. That's good. Well, because for the live version, I like to have fun with it, and I was doing a bunch of stuff on the fly and a lot of like added effects and stuff. So it's on YouTube. You can rewatch the stream if you want to check it out.
Oh, excellent! I will put that link down in the description below.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Excellent.
I didn't realize that was
I have
out.
listened to the album, and I actually feel as if the artwork kind of coincides perfectly with the tracks from the album itself.
Oh, good. Yeah, like I'm glad you reminded me of that, because definitely always happy to shout out Plus 10%, the Chinese artist behind the artwork of the cover, and my last 2, like Temporary Sensations and Take It Easy. He also did the cover for those.
Yep.
And he's just really dope, and I feel like each time he nails it even better. And it was kind of a process this time around, like, because I like with Temporary Sensations, I kind of had an idea of what I wanted the cover to look like. For some reason, like I had a lot of visual imagery that I was associating with the album, but this time around, I think it was really difficult because of like what I said before, with each track sort of feeling very different to me. Like I didn't really know what to tell him, so he did a lot of the work when it came to like coming up with that concept, like the collage stuff. I think I did tell him I liked his collage work, but he really knocked it out of the park and did a lot of it himself. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with it. And I think it really fits. And it just feels good to like collaborate with another artist like that.
Yeah.
And, accomplish something that we're both happy with, and definitely, if you could put a link to his site.
Oh, absolutely.
It's on my Bandcamp. I think I'm definitely trying to get people to, check out his work.
Yeah. I remember when we were talking about Temporary Sensations, you plugged him there, and yeah, we will gladly plug him again.
Yeah.
Link in the description below, as usual. But yeah, I'm looking at the album art right now, and yeah, that looks awesome. I like that a lot. And now I can't wait to hear the music.
It's always good to have like nice artwork to get people excited to click on it and listen to it. I feel like I say that a lot, but it's really true, like in this day and age. So
yeah, absolutely.
The clickbait time that we're living in.
Right.
The
Yeah.
age of clickbait. Yes.
Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't be more grateful for like visual artists out there, like helping, like enhance the music and enhance the marketability and stuff like that. So definitely shout outs, not just to like my artists, but all of the visual artists out there, especially making stuff for musicians, but just in general, of course. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. So if you were to kind of describe the sound of this EP, how would you describe the feel of this one?
I think definitely I was trying to do more glitchy kind of stuff. I think I've been kind of going down that road, even with the last couple releases, P.SUS releases. I was like kind of being really inspired by, glitch music and ambient, like Japanese ambient glitch artists and stuff like that. For lack of a better classification.
Yeah.
Like I said in the stream, Pat, I think you're getting better and better at the kind of like glitchy side of your music that you've been exploring the past few releases. This particular one, I feel like you've really like hit that kind of like sound just perfectly.
Oh, thank you. That's that's really encouraging. Thanks. I know, like, I don't like to alienate, fans and stuff, and but I also got to evolve, and that kind of music's really just been in my ear lately.
Plus, I suppose at this point, it to demonstrate it's like a bit more of a challenge, I guess, to create that kind of music at this point for you.
Yeah,
just more straightforward stuff, I guess.
Yeah, there's like a technical element to it that appeals to me, I think.
Yeah.
Like as a challenge, like from a technical point of view as a producer.
Because it's definitely some of your most impressive work production-wise as well, I think. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Definitely.
I mean, it helped that there was only 6 tracks, and I really could spend the time to like refine each one.
Yeah.
As opposed to Temporary Sensations that had like 20 songs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's with like the title being Gallery. I feel like each track stood out in its own unique way. Whereas Temporary Sensations, all the tracks just kind of meshed together a bit more. If you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. That's totally what I was going for on both of them. So I'm glad that you perceive it that way. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Lukewarm. I don't know if you've heard of him. He like
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely check out. I think his username on SoundCloud is still Lukewarm, but it might be like LKWRM. But yeah, he actually lives here in Tampa, and we hang out in real life a lot, and like we've really been digging like Sora and Julian Loque. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he's a French guy. He's actually like inspired Sora. He has a lot of different aliases, so we've been like really kind of into his albums too and sharing stuff. And I think that's been like part of my inspiration for like continuing to like be influenced by glitchier type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple other like names I could drop that like
just on the list of people to look into,
Yeah. I mean, Lukewarm for sure. Like he's my friend, but
word.
And he's doing that kind of stuff too, and he's really good at it. But yeah, I think I also like on this EP, there's some sections that are kind of like inspired by like Caro Benito and people like that, like the J-pop inspired kind of like future bass / weird PC music pop scene or whatever that's kind of like on SoundCloud and various places on the internet. So that's definitely a source of inspiration for this one too, a little bit.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's God, I want to listen to this album now.
I know, me too. I haven't listened to it yet. I've seen the album art though, and the album art makes me want to listen to it. So that's
Sweet.
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely appreciate it. So
Awesome. But yeah, we will definitely put a shout out to Lukewarm down in the description below. And if we can find the links to the other people as well, we'll put them in there too. Because awesome new music is always, always welcome on this show.
yeah. I think, I think it would be fair to assume that a lot of listeners are a fan of Pogo. And I think that, this kind of stuff sort of emerged separately from him, but is very similar to the kind of stuff he makes. So I think it's really worth checking out.
Mm-hmm.
As a Pogo fan, or like as a fan of, like me and Pogo and Jish and this whole kind of community, like, and you guys, of course, that's, undeniably sprung up around his work. I think this stuff that's been coming up in Japan and like with Sora and everything, it's definitely really cool too. So
yeah,
it's like a family tree almost. It's
Yeah.
like they're on the other side of it over there. I think you could really trace it back to like Akafin and Todd Edwards and some of the OG dudes, and even things like Music Concrete. I think if you've heard of that, I feel like Dom has. I think this kind of stuff that I'm talking about, like especially the Julian Loquet, also known as Gel, he's the one who inspired Sora. He seems very inspired by Music Concrete or Musique Concrete. Just kind of like ambient samples and very textural stuff.
All right.
It's definitely like a lot more avant-garde than the stuff I'm doing, but I think it's still rubbed off on me a bit. So, yeah.
All right. Cool beans.
Cool beans. Wow, I'm bringing that back.
Good golly.
Cool
golly
beans.
gee whiz. Cool beans, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we'll definitely link some of that stuff in the description down below. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth spreading. It's definitely underrated.
Yes.
In my opinion. It might be too far out there for a lot of people, but we'll see.
Okay, so little disclaimer there. It is cutting edge stuff, but still check it out. See if it's your thing, and if not, then
go back to listening to Taylor Swift.
That's right.
Yes, indeed.
Don't forget that Pat released something else just a few months ago under a different name.
Let's go over that then.
We can go over that too.
That's true. We haven't like really talked since that either. Kind of forgot.
God, it's been a while. So why don't you tell us a little more about that?
Well, there's not a whole lot to say, but I suppose another thing that I've been really inspired by the last few years really is just video game music, especially from like the Super Nintendo, N64 and GameCube era, and then like Genesis and Dreamcast and, that kind of old school MIDI, low bitrate MIDI samples and stuff type music and compositions. I've just been really into that. So I had like a side SoundCloud where I was posting that kind of stuff. And if you follow me on SoundCloud, you might have heard some of it because I reposted. But I had compiled like a collection of songs that I made for that SoundCloud into a little like release of some kind, I guess, like a collection, I guess. I mean, it's an album.
Cool.
So it's just not it's not like quite as quality assured as the P.SUS stuff. It's a little bit of a afterthought.
A side project?
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, it is a side project. But I think I'm definitely happy with that stuff, and it's an opportunity for me to kind of flex a totally different set of musical muscles because with the P.SUS stuff, it's very much about the audio production and the processing and the sampling and the textures and the the atmosphere and all that stuff. It's kind of more of a focus. But when it comes to this stuff that I'm talking about, I released it under Patrick S. It's a lot more focused on, traditional songwriting, for lack of a better way to say it, I guess. It's like I'm thinking about like music theory, harmonies, melodies, and song structure a lot more. Not that I am not thinking about atmosphere, or with the P.SUS stuff, I'm not thinking about music harmony, because of course it's just fundamental songwriting stuff. But this video game music is just what makes it interesting, since the sounds are kind of limited, is the composition. So I've really been enjoying doing that on the side a little bit. It helps me become like it helps the P.SUS stuff become better too, honestly. And I think a little bit of that actually rubbed off on the new EP too, because I think I've just noticed myself kind of leaning towards just playing a lot of synthesizers and writing a lot of original sections and not relying on samples all the time, because sometimes I want to have fun with key changes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
yeah. Right on, man. That's awesome. So yeah, we'll of course link your Patrick S stuff down in the description as well.
I mean, it's on my site. It's not hard to find. It's on P.SUSmusic.com. It's just I just felt inclined to categorize it differently, just for myself, if anything. You know, it just feels like a different artist in a way. So I didn't want people to expect a P.SUS album.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's a different feel. It's a different portion of your musicality.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm not willing to do different stuff as P.SUS. It just, I guess I'm just kind of improvising. You know, I'm just like, this one, I'm going to call it this because I don't know. But if maybe someday I'll be doing songs like that as P.SUS, I don't know.
Hey.
I'm just taking it as it comes.
Absolutely. I think you're doing just fine. Yeah. If you know what I mean. Yes. Absolutely.
And we'll get all that stuff up. I think everything except the new EP, Pat's new EP, is up on collaboratemusic.com. So that should be your source for all the music from the community if we keep it updated, which we will. But we'll get the new EP up there as well. I should do that right now.
I mean, it's only been out for like 2 days, 3 days, so.
I know.
I didn't even upload it to SoundCloud immediately. So to be completely honest, I was kind of like last minute scrambling. Also, the EP is coming out on Spotify and iTunes. It might already be up there. Actually, I haven't checked, but it should be there any day. And it just got a little delayed because they always want to spell my name as capital P period capital S lowercase US because the like casing, they're picky like about things being case sensitive or whatever, like on distribution like Spotify and iTunes and stuff. So they do make an exception for me because I have like an online presence and stuff. I kind of didn't plan for it.
P.SUS.
Their system kind of like makes it hard for me to line up the Spotify release with the Bandcamp one because to be honest, they don't really tell you like when you should set your release date based on how long it's going to take. So
because it has to go through all sorts of checks and stuff, I'm sure.
Especially and then to fix my name at the end, like I literally had to do that twice in a row.
Right.
God.
I don't think it's not a bad thing to stagger them either because, you know, maybe they'll encourage people to buy the album up front instead of just streaming it, which, I mean, you might get more revenue that way. Just something to think about. I don't think it's a bad thing that it's staggered, like it comes out on Bandcamp and then it's out on the stream stuff later.
Yeah, no.
It makes sense, actually.
It's not really a big deal. It's just kind of annoying for me. But
no, I get that.
I was just really eager to get this one out there because it was a little bit overdue, like in my opinion. Like it's just kind of been done for a while, so I was kind of sick of delays.
Right.
So
I know you hadn't released an album in like almost 2 months. It's crazy. It's just so over.
Well, it's really hard when it's like it's sitting there finished, but you can't just drop it. But the funny thing was me and Pat were gonna play TF2. Shout out to Team Fortress 2. And so link
I
in
was
the
like,
description.
I was like, yo, Pat, you want to play? He's like, yeah, I'm down, but just give me like a few minutes. And I was like, okay. I had no idea that he was dropping an EP, so I'm waiting for Pat to be ready to play TF2, and I looked down at my phone and it says P.SUS has released a new EP. I was like, he literally like was like, "Oh, I'll be right there. Let me just drop an album real quick." It was pretty funny how that worked out.
I was not. I literally, your text like woke me up, and I was like
Right.
not very coherent, and I was like didn't realize all the things I had to do.
No.
Sorry about
It was
that,
just funny
Steve.
because it was literally like, "Oh, let me just do one thing real quick," and that's you releasing an album. Like it's NBD, you know.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it took it doesn't take that long to upload something to Bandcamp, but then I realized, but then I gotta post it, and then I gotta post on Instagram, and then I
Yeah,
gotta
no,
post
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
But we did it. We
did.
played TF2,
Excellent.
just
We
in
sure
case you were
did.
wondering.
Excellent.
Didn't want to leave the audience on.
We played the hell out of that TF2.
I'll have to join all of you guys sometime. It's because I finally got a new computer.
Oh, hell
so-
yeah!
So yeah, I will hop in with you guys sometime when my
You
life
used to be the
isn't
best
as
medic in the
crazy.
game too, years
Aw,
ago, back when we played.
Aw, yeah, those were good times. Those were good
The
times.
more
Yeah, those
friends,
were.
the better. Like the
Yeah,
more
hell yeah.
team synergy you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know,
so
especially
that
when we
would
all
be
get
awesome.
on a chat. It's really fun, you know. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime soon. But yeah, Dom, so you have some new music you wanted to talk about real quick, didn't you?
Well, sort of new. It's been out since like May, but since the last podcast was recorded in like April.
Right.
Fuck. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I put an album out back in May. No, it was June actually, according to this. It's called Decaying Memories, and it's basically just a collection of all my kind of like lo-fi ambient tracks from the past few years that I've been uploading to SoundCloud and stuff. I just wanted to, I guess, put them all together and put them in one place where people could just download them easily. And I gotta say, they go together really well, I think. There's also a couple new tracks on there as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that stuff that you made is like beautiful, man. It's like,
Oh, thank you.
I love the ambient pads and the sound effects stuff. Just like goes together really good. So
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's actually like it's the same concept as the Great Odyssey album, I guess, but slightly different because it is all samples and it's all vinyl, but I don't sample like full like bars from tracks and like full melodies and things. I just sample singular notes.
Yeah.
And then I route them through a MIDI controller and just play whatever with them. So I keep the like textural like content of that sample, but at the same time the compositional aspect is completely my own.
yeah,
And it creates some pretty unique results, I think.
Cool, man.
yeah, it does definitely.
It's awesome.
Awesome. So we will absolutely link to that in the description below as well. And as
That's
usual,
definitely on the website.
I was gonna say, and as usual, everything from our community you can find on collaboratemusic.com.
Yep.
And yeah, that's awesome.
Jack, I'll talk about my new project if you want
Yeah,
some more stuff to talk about.
please do.
So I've been working on this thing, and I said on Twitter in like July that it would come out in the summer, and
And it's the middle of
obviously-
October as of recording this
Obviously,
podcast.
there's nothing. So my new project will be out next month, November.
Yeah, I did the same thing anyway. Like I said, the EP was going to come out in late summer and didn't come out till now. So
yeah.
I
I mean,
feel
like
you.
life and work and family and shit, just everything gets in the way. And unfortunately, music, because it doesn't make me money, takes a backseat. Even though it's one of my favorite, creative
Right.
things to do, it still has to take a backseat to making money and all that stuff. But yeah, it's something I've been working on since like late spring or something, and it's called Moments, and it's still got some work to do on it. So I'm not sure if it'll be sort of a short album or a long EP, but it'll be somewhere in that neighborhood. And the concept is basically like I basically wrote songs about moments in my life. So it's kind of it's just something I want to do where it's like there's something that had an impact on me. I would write a song about it and just sample anything from that moment. So there's songs. It basically, I don't know how in depth to get here, but I kind of went through some emotional shit since the spring. The past spring.
Yeah.
So basically, I was using music as a way to get through that. So it's not really like
Absolutely.
sad music or anything like
No,
that.
it's turning your
it's
pain
still-
into art, which is
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the passion. Yeah, it was sort of something to do to turn off my brain for a little bit and do something. So I tried this concept of like just trying to be in the moment and like write a song about any moment. So a lot of them are not really clear what the moments are, but they're moments that were seemingly important to me at one point or another. And
I think that's
and
a
I
really
built
good
songs
approach
around it.
to songwriting, dude.
Yeah, it's different. It's different than anything I've done, and I hope it comes out cool. It'll be unique if nothing else. And yeah, so it'll be probably 8 or 10 tracks or something like that. And they're all pretty
Nice.
short, but I can't remember what else I wanted to say about it.
That Steve, I was making a track for you.
Oh, that's right.
I
Me and
kind
Dom
of
are
got
working on
stuck.
something.
I kind of got stuck with it, and I just kind of stopped working on it. Maybe I should drag up whatever I've got.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I think whatever you have will be cool because we'll like combine our 2 songs.
Yeah, I'll just send you what I have. It's not bad, and it's definitely like a full track. It's just that I feel like some aspects of it could be improved. Yeah.
No, I'm sure
Is
it's
it
cool.
like
Man.
is the style kind of like hip hop beats, or is it more just whatever?
That's a good question. So I've really been into like micro sampling, as you know, Pat. Like I've been focusing on that a lot. So a lot of it is very like micro sample heavy, but there's also like songs I wrote on my SP404
Nice.
and stuff like that, where it's a little bit more like classic hip hoppy stuff. But
Yeah.
it's really just there's gonna be a lot of 8-bit. it's 8-bit heavy. It's sample heavy. It's really just it's kind of like it's my sound continued and evolved a little bit. But lots of samples of like kind of unusual stuff, and
As you do.
a lot of like sampling of like usual stuff as well. Where I've like I've been in the mood to like sample pop songs and like try and make them interesting in my brain. So
That's
there's a lot of
That's
a lot of like current stuff, and there's a lot of like really deep niche stuff that no one will ever know what the sample is from. But that's okay. There's also it's something interesting about it is I've got 2 songs that I'm singing on. I use singing in quotations.
I heard that.
I'm not a singer.
I remember you sent us a little clip of that, and I thought that was cool. That was cool.
Oh, cool, man! It's not really singing so much as it's it's a fun challenge to try and make my voice sound workable. That's kind of like a fun challenge for me. And there's lots of effects on it, obviously, but nothing like no vocoders or anything like that. So I'm trying to keep it sort of authentic. But so that'll be kind of cool. It'll be a little different than my other stuff, but obviously the same at the same time. But yeah, that's that. It's called.
That's
it's called
what
Moments.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah, man.
Different
for sure.
but the same. That's what people want, honestly.
Yeah.
Also, it's like we want to feel familiar, but we also want to be surprised. That's like the catch. That's like pop music in a nutshell. I mean, like I wouldn't say what I'm doing is strictly pop, but that kind of stuff certainly seems to resonate with people more, like that kind of dynamic, and it's kind of fun to try and tap into that and still make it hip,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait I'm definitely hyped to hear that though, Steve.
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
man. Cool. It'll be a little different.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to hearing more from that in the future, in the hopefully near future, because I'm excited to hear this new
man.
project of yours.
This is my first solo thing since like 15 or something. 14. It's been a long. It's been really long time.
I think it was 15.
I
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah. So it's been
flies.
way too long. And honestly, like to be honest, it's probably like my last solo thing for a little while. Like I really want to focus on doing this stuff, collaborate stuff, and so I don't know when my next solo outing will be, but this is it for now.
Okay,
which is cool. I'll focus on this.
Well, that's cool. That's
Just
Yeah.
one at a time. Just take it one at a time. You never know.
Yeah.
I had no
That's
idea
true,
that
man.
I was going to release this EP, and then it just like came to me one day. I was like, you know what? I've got a couple good work in progresses that I can just, bang out, and I've got some solid tracks that are finished, and I just threw it together kind of like I didn't plan for it. So
Right.
that's just,
I know that.
like, I
That's
can
cool.
relate. It's just sort of like sometimes you just have to focus on the one you're working on, and then after that you might be inspired to come out with another one, or
Yeah. I
So-
definitely want to just do small EPs. I think that's my goal. I like the EPs because you can like focus on like 4 things. Like you were saying earlier, just like focus
Yeah.
on a small amount of things and make them good. I get so overwhelmed when there's like 10 things to monitor because
yeah.
I'm never done until I put the album out. So I'm literally working on 10 tracks at the same time, and it's just like it's a lot
Yeah.
for your brain.
It's
Yeah.
it's definitely rough at the very end of the album making process. I
Yeah.
feel you.
Yeah.
I totally relate to that.
Yeah, I almost went insane making Crate Odyssey. So
Yeah.
I definitely relate.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of hard too because I feel like I listen back to Temporary Sensations and stuff, and I'm kind of like, it could. I wish I would have spent a little more time on these tracks, but it's also like you don't. Sometimes you just have to walk away and move on.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
you can't. It'll never ever sound perfect to you. Like at least from my experience, like it's.
Yeah,
Even if it does sound perfect to you, like a year later or a month later, it could be like, oh, that's not,
yeah,
Sometimes you strike gold, and everything lays in perfectly. And you just kind of have to let that happen, I think, and keep practicing, and a lot of tracks won't, be up to your standards, especially as, we're always our toughest critics. So
Mhm.
there's a weird, that factors in. But yeah, I think if you just keep making stuff, you'll eventually hit something that really comes together perfectly. And that's like one of the beautiful things that can happen, as like that's why I do it. It's like that feeling of like, yo, this is like, what? I just like sampled this, I just put it in, and it sounds like absolutely perfect, yo. Like that's a rush, That's literally
yeah,
why
dude.
I do it.
Love that
So-
feeling.
But that doesn't always happen. Like but that's something you have to like let happen. I think it's not something you can force, but you try.
Yeah.
You have to keep making stuff. So
Didn't Michael Jackson say something like, "You've got to get out of the way of the music"? I
exactly.
think
Yeah, that's totally what I'm
Hmm.
getting at.
Yeah, classic. Dope, dude.
Really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, it's just like, it's about to hit me too as I try and release something because it's like, I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at like stopping.
I think that's one of the benefits of like walking away too. I even myself, I could be better at it because you want to put the work in to make it sound as best as it possibly can, but
Yeah.
there's like a weird thing that happens. I feel like even in other art forms, maybe other types of artists could relate. There's a weird thing that happens where it's kind of like if you tamper with it too much, it starts to, lose what made it sound really cool in the first place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm always afraid of doing that personally.
It's like when people remaster original tracks like 20 years after,
Oh,
and it completely ruins the original track, which is
Yep.
much better than the original. It's
Yeah.
like I was listening to David Bowie's original Life on Mars, and then I heard the new Life on Mars remaster, and I was like, what is this? Everything sounds way too clean.
Yeah.
What is this?
I guess
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, if you prefer that version, like, go ahead, but as long as it doesn't replace the original. Because I've gone back and remastered some stuff. I think it does sound better to me, but
Of course.
I agree that it might not sound objectively better. Like, and what is objective anyway? Like, when it comes to music, that's kind of a hard question to answer. But I do think that, like, you know, when it sounds fresh to you, when you're making something and it sounds fresh, that's like when you're being creatively stimulated. And like, if you're going back and working on it 20 years later, like maybe a new fresh perspective on it would help. But a lot of times it's kind of hard to like recapture that moment, you know? I think we see that a lot in our culture in general, you know, like trying to remake things and, you know, dig up the past to like, you know, re-release stuff. And I think it's just like you oftentimes find that it's like you can't recapture that moment, you know? There's just like so many X factors and like mental states and creative forces happening all around you that allowed for that moment to happen in like its utmost purity, which is going to like probably resonate with, you know, people are going to be able to pick up on that, you know. That's just my
Nice.
that's my opinion on it, at least.
Yeah, really nice thoughts there, Pat.
Thanks.
That's definitely going in.
I mean, this is what I think about all day, so.
And that's all getting cut out.
Really deep and profound, and nobody will ever hear it.
I have a few upcoming projects and I guess ideas of where I want to go. I'm planning on putting out one more album before the year's out, probably either next month or December.
Nice.
Sweet.
For those that have been paying attention to my SoundCloud over the past few years, I've been uploading like kind of like ambient takes on old 78 recordings.
Oh yeah.
So for those that are familiar with The Caretaker, the artist,
that's who I was thinking
like,
of. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. He takes like old Dixieland 78s and he just like douses them in reverb and bizarre effects and like loops certain parts of them and makes them sound really like weird and strange and dark. And I've kind of done a similar thing, but at the same time, I guess, put my own sort of spin on it and made it a bit different. And I've accumulated a lot of those tracks over the years, and I realized a couple of weeks ago that I have enough tracks to make an album and that they would go together rather well. So at the moment, I'm working on finishing those tracks up and hopefully getting another album ready for the end of the year.
Excellent.
Nice.
Dope.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's a really cool concept.
It's definitely going to be the kind of release that you can really like sink into, if you know what I mean. It's gonna the tracks are gonna kind of like line up together really well and really present an atmosphere, I guess, that you can just kind of lose yourself in.
Well, Crate Odyssey is certainly like that too. So you've proved yourself.
Yeah, I guess that's just going to the kind of thing I wanted from my albums lately. I wanted very kind of like deep albums that you can just kind of like fall into and just kind of present a lot of different ideas and sounds and stuff. So it'll be a further exploration of that kind of thing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's a big strength of ambient and plunderphonic type music. It's like it lends itself to that kind of vibe.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be going along with that more, and it'll just be slightly different conceptually, just because of the samples I'll be using and the way I'll be using them will be different.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. And the other thing is, me and Milo have just started working on a project together.
What?
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away about that because it's early days, but it will be kind of like a droney ambient type thing. And
that's Sapien Alien, for those of you who don't know.
Yes.
Milo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Sorry, I should
shout out to Sapien Alien.
But yeah, he sent me a bunch of recordings the other day for me to mess around with, and I've literally like only just started to play with them, but I've already got fantastic results from them just because of like the great quality of stuff he's been giving me.
Oh,
So
I can't wait to hear that.
I can pretty much guarantee that we're gonna make some amazing shit together.
Awesome.
So
Dope.
Yeah, definitely. That was hype, dude.
yeah,
You just that's a big promise.
yeah.
Seriously.
No, I'm sure you'll deliver. It sounds like you'll deliver.
It's not because I'm saying, oh, it's because I'm amazing. It's because Milo's amazing and he's been giving me such good shit to work with. You know, I feel like it's more his project than mine anyway. So
Yeah, I'm just pulling your leg.
yeah. And the other thing is something I've not even really started with yet. It's just an idea. I want to actually make an album that's completely sample free.
Ooh.
And much more like synth oriented. And again, I probably put this album under a different name as well, but just because it'd be totally different from anything else I'd ever done before. And also, similar to what Steve is currently doing with his new release, there'll be songs based around things that have like happened in my life and stuff like that, and there will probably be some vocals in there as well. So yeah, that should be interesting if I get around to doing that.
Dope.
Nice.
It's just I need more equipment first before I can really get going with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to mention real quick too that I have a couple live shows coming up in December.
Where?
So in Florida.
Aw.
Yeah. So just in case anyone is listening to this that lives in Florida, definitely stay tuned for the show announcements because it's gonna be cool.
What?
Oh,
Wait, what?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy, I don't actually really know him, but he reached out to me about it and we've been talking, and he's from Florida. Safe House Music. He lives like on the other coast, a little bit further south, and he like wanted to play a bunch of shows with me. So I'm definitely gonna announce them soon, like when more of them are confirmed.
Whoa.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'll be. I've been real busy putting together like a live set. That's one reason why I did the stream the other night too, because I'm probably gonna like include that in the and like get to do that for real lives.
Yes.
Not just internet live.
Excellent.
Yeah. Dude, that's dope. Oh man, I wish we lived closer at
Yeah.
times like these.
Yeah.
That'd be really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks.
All right. So, guys, this has been great. We really should do this more often. And I'm sure now that at least my life is a little less crazy than it used to be. So I think hopefully we'll be able to do this a little
That's
bit
good.
more. But yeah, as always, you can find all of our community music stuff at collaboratemusic.com. I myself, you can find some of my music on soundcloud.com/Jawka. Everybody else wants to plug their own things. That's cool.
Sure.
I guess I'll just, P.SUSmusic.com. Spotify, definitely my new EP should be up there. I'm growing my Spotify presence, and if people want to listen to my stuff, like listening to it on there definitely helps. That's like the best way to like listen to for free, quote unquote. But I see some revenue from those plays, so definitely check out my Spotify. Just if you search P.SUS, of course, it'll come up, and it's all condensed to one page now, I'm pretty sure, because that's another thing I was talking earlier about the casing. It's like Spotify splits it up, and, I want it to all be on the same one, so it's all good now.
Excellent.
Yep. I'll go next, I guess. You can find me on the internet. Just search ThinkFishTank. I have a website actually, but I'm honestly just go to collaboratemusic.com, and that's where you can find me. That's where you can find all our stuff. And a new project next month, so check that out. It's called Moments, and it'll be music. Don't forget to support your local electronic artists and pay them money, like Pat.
Yes.
All right, who's next?
I'll go next. The main link, I guess, would be rivermanmusic.bandcamp.com. You can find links to all my other pages like SoundCloud and Facebook and YouTube on there. Hopefully I'll have a new album out before the end of the year. I don't know what it's going to be called, so I can't say any more about it really.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Ethan?
I'm only on SoundCloud. Just search up Evil Man Penguin, and I'll be there.
Excellent.
Dope.
Excellent.
I'll be there standing behind you as you're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Search for Evil Man Penguin.
Capital
You'll find
letters,
it.
please.
There's a reason why he's evil. He'll be there if you don't.
I'll be waiting.
Excellent.
Sweet. Yeah, don't forget to go buy Pat's EP.
Album
That's
gallery.
the important thing.
Buy it.
Definitely
Buy
really
it.
appreciate that.
I already
stream it.
bought it.
Stream it and buy it.
Thank you. Thanks for your patronage,
Excellent.
my dear friend.
Yes. My friends. All right, so I gotta get going now, so I'm gonna start rolling that outro music, and I look forward to seeing you guys again on the next episode.
Hit it.
All right. Who wants to play some TF2?